Good afternoon, and welcome to the historic Hippodrome State Theater. Before we get started, it's with great pleasure that I get to announce the winner of the 3rd annual Gainesville Photography Contest. It's always exciting to introduce a work of art from a local artist, and especially to meet the artist behind the winning photograph. The theme for this year's contest was Gainesville Transitions, from old to new. I don't think there could be a more appropriate theme. It asked for a visual representation of the dynamic feeling that is such an undeniable part of our city. The winning photograph represents the most important part of this transition. Although entering a new phase in our city's history, we have not forgotten our roots, our past, or our history. Out of 100 photographs from 37 photographers, we had 21 finalists. And the winner is Blue Moon Over Old Historic Inn by Carolyn Stevens West. Congratulations. The finalists from this year's contest will have their photos displayed right here at the Hippodrome Theater from February 13th to the 20th. And thanks once again for joining me today as we look back at the past year and even more importantly, toward what the future holds for our city. I'd like to thank my colleagues on the City Commission for their hard work and leadership this past year, but especially thanks to Commissioners Gina Mastrodecaza and Sherwin Henry, since they will be unfortunately leaving us this summer after 6 years of dedicated service. And thanks also to Commissioners Susan Bottcher, Todd Chase, Thomas Hawkins, and Randy Wells for their service. Many of our successes this past year would not have been possible without the dedicated work of our 6 charter officers. And again, I want to single out someone in particular. City Attorney Marion Radson will unfortunately be leaving us this summer after over 30 years of dedicated service. Thank you, Marion. I would also like to thank City Manager Russ Blackburn, Clerk of the Commission Kurt Lannon, GRU General Manager Bob Hunzinger, City Auditor Brent Gottschalk, and Equal Opportunity Director Cecil Howard. Thanks to you and your respective staffs for your hard work over the past year. Thank you also to the members of our various citizen advisory boards and committees. The time and effort you put forth makes our city a great place to live. Most of all, I'd like to thank you, the citizens of Gainesville. Diversity is what defines us, and you are our greatest resource. As I said before, today is about looking back at the past year, but also about moving forward. It's true. Gainesville has faced certain realities as part of the economic downturn. Like families, businesses, and nonprofits across our community, we have reassessed our priorities and proved we can make the tough decisions. The city of Gainesville has dealt head-on with the economic challenges of the times. We have fared well compared to cities across the country. In fact, we've seen our community grow in new, exciting ways this past year. It's a great time to be in Gainesville. Recently, speaking about middle-class job creation in Kansas, President Obama said that the world is shifting to an innovation economy and nobody does innovation better than America. I agree with the president. He said that nobody has a greater diversity of talent and ingenuity, and I agree with that too. But it was what he said next that I think truly captures where we are as a community. He said the things that have always been our strengths match up perfectly with the demands of the moment. I absolutely agree, and this sentiment perfectly describes Gainesville. But Gainesville is not alone. Many other cities and states are marshaling their resources to match the demands of an innovation economy. It's important to know what sets our city apart. Out of many discussions with members of our community, I've become certain of one thing. A high quality of life and a diverse population are Gainesville's most important competitive advantages. While across the country, cities and businesses are struggling to make sense of this new situation, Gainesville's uniquely collaborative approach is succeeding. We are succeeding by focusing on innovation in every aspect of our community. We are employing innovative strategies for job creation, economic development, energy, transportation, and the environment. These values define our city. A dedication to progress defines our city. The steadfast commitment from community stakeholders, business leaders, and public officials to work together to strengthen our city is beginning to bear fruit. We're leveraging the unique quality of life in our community to gain a competitive edge in the 21st century. Already we are moving forward. Forward with renewable energy, forward with mass transit, forward with an innovation economy. The result is the success of our community and the strength of our city. The state of Gainesville's economy is strong and it's growing. The success stories that illustrate our progress come from across our community. We saw the completion of the Innovation Hub, dedicating almost 50,000 square feet of space to transforming cutting-edge discoveries into successful business ventures. It was an honor to be a part of that grand opening less than 2 weeks ago. But it was the tour I took of the facility and the company owners I spoke with that made the biggest impact on me. Businesses in the Innovation Hub are thriving and hiring. For example, businesses like Tutuit, a mobile app development company located in the hub and founded by Jordan Johnson and Ray Land. Their story is both unique and at the same time typical of the startup companies that populate Gainesville's economic landscape. Jordan is a former student body president at the University of Florida who left Gainesville to work in GE's financial management program and gain experience running large-scale operations. Ray manages fabulous coach lines out of Branford, Florida, a town of less than 1,000 on the banks of the Suwannee River. While they may sound different, they agreed on one thing: Gainesville was the right place to start their business. I recently sat down with Jordan and Ray to talk about their company and to discuss the city's role in economic growth. We had a productive conversation, and I'm thankful for their demonstrated commitment to our city. I made sure to ask them what we, as elected leaders, could do to continue building Gainesville's reputation as a hub for high-tech development. And they were quick to answer: keep developing downtown. And that's exactly what I plan to do. Over the past year, I've met with numerous leaders from our thriving high-tech sector. We've talked about how the city of Gainesville can be a partner in the common pursuit of job creation and economic development. Just like our community, these leaders come from a diverse set of backgrounds, but they have a united vision. These meetings are just one example of my personal commitment to collaboration. I strongly believe that Gainesville already has the tools necessary for economic growth, and I'm excited to make sure they're put to work. And I want to reaffirm something I said at the opening of the Innovation Hub. If you're part of a startup company in Gainesville and you've got an idea about how we can make our city more competitive in the national and international job market, come talk to me. My door is always open. The collaborative spirit embodied by the Innovation Square project is unrivaled in our community's history. The city is doing its part to make this vision a reality. We're removing unnecessary and avoidable roadblocks to the development of the square and the surrounding area. During my time as mayor and as a commissioner before that, I felt this community's desire to come together and build a better future was more than ever before. In the past few years, we've increased our collaborative efforts, and big things are happening. Moving forward, we will continue to see the holistic vision of Innovation Square come to life. Already, homegrown businesses like Fracture are seeing the benefits of proximity to the square and deciding to locate nearby. The company plans to expand from internet sales to a brick-and-mortar retail establishment. The inclusion of space for ground-level retail, restaurants, grocery stores, and more will result in a vibrant social nexus in our community. This transformation has already begun along the Southwest 2nd Avenue corridor with the construction of new multifamily housing. And as Innovation Square grows, so will the ripple effects throughout Gainesville's economy. But as exciting as Innovation Square may be, It's important to remember that this moment in our city's history isn't about one project, but about many successes. My friend, outgoing Chamber of Commerce Chair Tommy McIntosh, was recently quoted as saying that Gainesville has a great story to tell. I agree, and it's my intention to tell that story to anyone and everyone who will listen. Innovation Gainesville has brought us together to seek new opportunities for development across our city. Everyone in Gainesville has benefited from the results of this growing spirit of collaboration. Late last summer, I participated in the groundbreaking for the new Shands facility on North Main Street. At the same time, I observed that the clinic fits uniquely into the larger changes taking place in Gainesville. Changes which enhance services at the neighborhood level. These efforts contribute to the high quality of life in our community and improve our ability to attract high-tech, high-paying jobs. To the east, the University of Florida broke ground on an expansion of its East Campus. The area is already home to more than 400 employees and is only poised to grow. The East Campus is just one part of the university's commitment to being a citywide resource for the betterment of our community, and I thank the University of Florida for that. A major private investment in the area was also announced late last week. Silver Airways is bringing its maintenance facility to Gainesville. That means one thing, and I never get tired of saying it: good jobs for Gainesville residents. Initially, the company plans to move 60 jobs to Gainesville, but with room to grow in the former Eclipse Aviation facility, that number could one day grow to 100 or more. In the words of Silver CEO Darrell Richardson, they'll be looking to hire as many local people as they can find. The airline will also begin offering flights in and out of the Gainesville Regional Airport. They already operate more than 100 daily flights in Florida, the Bahamas, and across the United States. So I'm excited to see Gainesville have our own hometown airline. I'd like to thank everyone from the Gainesville Chamber of Commerce and the Council for Economic Outreach who worked so hard to bring Silver Airways to Gainesville. I had the pleasure of attending a few of the meetings with officials from Silver to talk about our community's exceptional quality of life, and I can tell you that all of the parties involved had Gainesville's best interests in mind. When you look to the south of us here at Hippodrome, the Power District is beginning to take shape as GRU completes its move to the Eastside Operations Center. Just 1 year from now, the Power District will be home to Peoria Robotics, a University of Florida spinoff that already employs 40 people from our community designing and building small, remotely controlled aerial vehicles. Over the next 4 years, Peoria is committed to doubling their workforce with high-quality jobs, averaging more than $63,000 per year in salaries and benefits. This location has even wider impacts for our community. Peoria will serve as an anchor and a catalyst for the redevelopment of the Power District as a whole. The city is doing its part, offering incentives for job creation and accelerating the timeline for the development of the property, which formerly housed GRU Support Services. Peoria is just one part of what has been labeled a manufacturing bright spot in our economy. Several months ago, the Gainesville Sun ran an article citing the increases in pay and manufacturing jobs in our city. Much of this is a result of companies like Peoria, which offer high-quality jobs with a low environmental impact. I'm excited about these projects, both in terms of short-term job creation and long-term effect on the redevelopment in the Power District, East Gainesville, and our entire city. Our vision for a safe, thriving, diverse downtown is an essential part of many economic development plans. This summer, we took another step toward protecting our resurgent downtown by adding 2 additional Gainesville Police Department officers who patrol the area on bike and on foot. These officers are in addition to 5 others we hired earlier. Investments like these are an important part of our commitment to public safety. Countless studies have shown that a safe downtown is a thriving downtown. An engaged and accessible presence by the Gainesville Police Department goes a long way to securing that reality. Downtown Gainesville has come so far over the past years, and we are continuing to see a renaissance in the beautiful heart of our city. Public safety is a priority across our community, and we've taken many steps to protect and expand these services. Residents in Northwest Gainesville came together early last year to celebrate the opening of Fire Station 8 which will help meet the fire safety needs in that area. Gainesville Fire Rescue is always reviewing their response capacity, and I am committed to making sure all critical needs are met. RTS also showed signs of our city's growth, shattering previous ridership records with over 10 million trips in 2011. This mass transit milestone is thanks in large part to the expansion of routes and access to Santa Fe College. And we are well poised to continue the growth of this system. The City of Gainesville was already planning to expand the transportation maintenance facility this year when we received an excellent piece of news. Thanks to the hard work and commitment of Representative Corrine Brown and Senator Bill Nelson, we received a federal grant of $9 million, which will allow us to complete 2 phases of this construction project at once. Furthermore, the firm chosen in our competitive bidding process to construct a bus maintenance facility is locally based Charles Perry Partners Incorporated. This is just another example of an ongoing trend, more jobs, and our community. The completion of this facility will sweep aside a major hurdle in Gainesville's transportation future. The added capacity will allow for the eventual implementation of bus rapid transit, a critical component of Plan East Gainesville and other economic development initiatives. I made a comment last year that even if you don't ride RTS, you're benefiting from the premium level of service it provides. Just weeks ago, we got confirmation of this fact again when Gainesville was ranked as having the best commute time in the state of Florida and the 19th best time in the United States. But this ranking is more than just a number. It reaffirms the decisions that we have made as a community to provide high-quality transit options. And it also reaffirms other programs like the traffic management system, which has reduced travel times for those in personal automobiles. In that spirit, I pledge to continue seeking new and innovative ways to provide equitable transportation access to all city residents. This means expansions to accommodate growth and redevelopment across our community, as well as to better meet existing need. Regardless of where they live, citizens of Gainesville can have, must have, and will have access to high-quality transit options. We're a cutting-edge city, and that distinction extends to our utility. Gainesville Regional Utilities, through the direction of the City Commission, instituted a first-in-the-nation solar feed-in tariff, but I'm sure you already knew that. But what I'm excited to announce today is we have seen a 3,100% increase in solar capacity since the program started. Again, that's more than 31 times the solar capacity since this forward-thinking incentive was introduced. And that's astounding. The solar feed-in tariff has had 2 positive impacts on our community. It has expanded renewable energy in Gainesville, and it has created local jobs designing and installing solar panels. These dual goals were part of our vision from the outset, and they're succeeding. Our city has made a commitment to programs like these, a commitment which is reflected in our quality of life. We had enormous success with the previous budget. By the end of the process, we managed to turn a projected deficit into a surplus, and we were able to further invest in important services like public safety. With another budget cycle on the horizon, I have every confidence that we can make responsible decisions without affecting the quality of services our citizens receive and deserve. Because these services contribute to our high quality of life. In order to remain competitive, we must do our best to maintain our identity and meet our commitments. And a part of that commitment and a part of a crucial service deals with our Parks and Recreation Department. And at Cone Park on the east side, we are seeing the installation of a world-class track that will benefit our community from a standpoint of fitness, and from a standpoint of competitive sports, for all of the people in Gainesville to provide greater access to that amenity. Also, we've seen the opening of the library at Cone Park as well to provide better library access to our citizens. These are the types of crucial things that we do as a city and that do so much contribute to our quality of life. But the last thing I want to touch on today is the work that we have done this year to protect our natural surroundings. The growth and development of our city, as desirable as it may be, should not come at the expense of our natural environment. One of our strengths as a city is the integration that we have achieved between development and environmental protection. In that spirit, the Gainesville City Commission voted earlier this year to bring our environmental preservation standards up to par with those of the county. We made a responsible choice, a choice which recognizes the ecological and economic advantages of conservation. Let me emphasize that the City of Gainesville should not be a regulatory haven where annexation provides a loophole that permits destruction of key components of our natural heritage. As we work to grow the innovation economy, some will argue that environmental priorities are subservient to economic ones, but I disagree. We do not have to choose between a healthy environment and a strong economy. Instead, we must be responsible. We must understand that pristine natural surroundings contribute to our quality of life, which gives us a competitive advantage in attracting high-tech, high-paying jobs. Our competition for attracting these jobs is real, and it's growing. Cities like Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, and Miami are pursuing similar programs just to grow their economic base. Earlier, I mentioned that President Obama's remarks in Kansas stated that they're going after these jobs too. So the question comes, what sets us apart? Well, we're home to the University of Florida, a national leader in both athletics and academics. We're home to a thriving arts community and cultural events only dreamed of by cities twice our size. We're home to a diverse group of citizens whose various histories and customs may bring new perspectives to old problems. And we're home to unique ecosystems and species right here inside our city limits. These are the things that set us apart in a competitive global marketplace, and we must do everything we can to protect them. Like you, many of you, my job is not merely an isolated aspect of my life. It is an expression of something that is central to who I am. I love this community. I love the diversity of this community. I love seeing the people of this community reach their full potentials. One of the ways I find time to do that is by serving as a mentor to our city's youth. I participate in the Gainesville Enrichment Mentoring Program, mentoring a student at Howard Bishop Middle School. I spend a lot of time with my student, talking with him about his homework and grades, his family, friends, and life in general, and also, especially next year, when he will begin high school. Something that I've realized is that things are always changing. My mentee is always changing. Gainesville is always changing. And that's going to happen regardless of anything that I do. My role as I see it, and this applies to both my mentoring and as mayor, is to have an impact on how that change happens and where it is heading. I'm immensely proud of the new Gainesville that is emerging, a Gainesville that shows signs of growth and development, a new Gainesville that has benefited from the supportive guidance of many committed individuals, individuals like those of you present with me today. Together, we are thankful for the foundation of our past and motivated by the opportunity of our future and responsible for the stewardship of the present. For Gainesville, this is an exciting moment. It's a moment of change and progress. It is our moment. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share these thoughts with you, and thank you for the honor of being your mayor. Have a good afternoon.